But we are celebrating today. So Principal Santos last night, well, we'll start with Wednesday. Wednesday was his birthday. Survived another year. Last night we had our awards ceremony. You can see right here, Excellence in Education. It is awards we put on, Fresno Unified puts on every year. Principal Santos won Administrator of the Year. So congratulations to him. We are in a festive mood. And with that, we'll get started here in just a few moments, but it is good to see you. Celebrate our amazing admin, Principal Santos, winning Administrator of the Year for 2026. It should be on y'all's email, Parent Square, whatever you get notifications from the district on. Our superintendent acknowledged all of our nominees and all our amazing winners in the district, and yay for our Principal Santos. This is Parent Lab. Y'all been here, but for those of you are first timers, welcome. If you're online first time, hi, how you be? Girl, you don't want me on there. Shimmy. We just want to thank all the people that make this possible for us at our site. Our incredible admin, Principal Santos and Vice Principal Rocca. They're an amazing team. They do above and beyond for all of us and our babies every day. We got Baker. She's the best human on earth. I'll be presenting today. Sorry, but I wanted a turn, so. Miss Precious, Miss Fatima, Miss Kwani, they keep our facilities clean. They get us our snacks, our yums, all of our drinks and fun stuff. So thank you guys. Just a reminder of our norms and expectations. We are live streaming this so people online can see and hear the things I am saying and doing. That goes for y'all too. So just keep it in mind. We want to use respectful, uplifting language, positive, school appropriate. We ask that you limit side conversations when possible, limit your phone use, which is funny. That's what we'll be talking about today. In the event you do have a concern, complaint, or something you just do want addressed, you can bring it to me at the end. You can bring it to Mrs. Baker at the end. You can bring it to the office at any time. We'll get you to the adults in charge who could probably remedy that situation. In the event something does trigger you or you're having an emotional response to something we're discussing, we do have social emotional people on staff that can help. So again, just bring it to our attention or get to the office and we'll get you to the person that can help you. So no worries there. Our mission statement here at Phoenix is to rise. Our children are learning respect, integrity, school readiness, and excellence in all contexts, in the academic world, outside the academic world, so that they can continue to grow and thrive and be beautiful little adults someday that be taking care of me in my elderliness. Our vision here is to empower. So that's really what we're striving for with our babies. And with that, we're going to be kind of looking at how screen time can influence our children and what that can do, both positive and negative, for our littles. I don't have a lot of manipulatives for this one. So if you're a kind of person that likes to take notes or if you just like to engage, keep, when you get active and alert during a presentation, I do have coloring pages in the back. So please feel free to get some coloring pages. I got art supplies on the table. Just pop it open, do some coloring, or take notes on the back if you'd like. I was trying to save trees with this one. Sorry. And we're doing digital screen time stuff. So it's theme appropriate. So school age children is what we'll be talking about today. School age is defined by usually 5, sometimes 6 through 12. Kids that are in kindergarten through 6, we don't have a kindergarten here on site, but it's mostly our babies. Physically, they'll be developing a nice, slow, steady growth. You'll see them get taller, stronger, have more motor skills, and abilities to improve their coordination, and their baby teeth be falling out. It happens. It's fun. Emotionally, they'll be developing relationships outside of the family. They'll start having friendships. They'll start caring about what their peers think. They'll start increasing as we reach teenagerness. They'll start learning emotional regulation and ways to communicate their emotions. That can look differently for different children depending on where they are. And that's also what we work with here at Phoenix. So they'll start learning that they can use their words if they're feeling sad or hurt or angry. frustrated and talk through it. But also you'll just see this naturally as a child is growing. They'll go from just crying because they don't have the words to say, I'm hungry, or she took my toy. And as they grow up, they start to develop that. They'll also start developing sympathy and empathy for others. So this is the age where we start crying when we watch Bluey. And if you don't, you're not paying attention. It's good. Basically, rough estimate. This is different for every child. So just to kind of get in the headspace of the ages we'll be talking about today. A 6-7-year-old is going to be into crafts. They're going to be into doing little things. They want to copy you. You know, they see you cooking. They want to be cooking. They see you working outside. They want to help you outside. They're really into imitating what you're doing. They're trying to learn life skills that way. They'll also start to understand that fictional things are pretend and real things are real, but it's still kind of hazy. So sometimes they'll be watching something like, the example is Big Bird from Sesame Street, and Big Bird's real. And that's a bird that we can talk to and consult. So they kind of struggle a little bit developing that, oh, wait, it's a costume, an amazing costume, but a costume. 8 to 9, they get more complex. They can do more complex skills. So they'll be able to dress and groom themselves. Again, it's different for every child and depending on where they are. But just overall and generally, you'll see they'll take on more responsibilities. They'll even have opinions about it, like what's cool and what they want to wear and fun. They'll also be a better equipped to start asking, is that real? So they'll look at something online or they'll see something, they'll ask, is that real? And their logic will start to come into play of what they know about the world versus what they're seeing or experiencing. They also will show more logic in a classroom or a scientific context. So if their teacher is telling them something about volcanoes, their brain's kind of already prepped to this is real, this is factual, versus if they are scrolling online and they see something silly and they're like, okay, that's real. But again, we're going to talk about why we should be monitoring that because these abilities are developing and they can be easily fooled. 10 to 12s, they up the ante. They start getting really creative. Some of them even start making their own fictional stuff. And they get better at lying because they can start remembering the details they've lied about. When they're younger, they'll struggle with that. This is all part of creativity and their brains growing and expanding, and that's good stuff. They'll also start using evidence and logic, which will be cute because they'll argue against you. Like, I can do this, and here's why. And they'll cite all the reasons they can do what you're asking them not to do. And sometimes their friends are part of that evidence. So this is just a really short little video about screen time, what we are learning it can do to very young children before the school age. So we were talking about school age, our age, this is younger, the littles. So let me see, I think I can do this. Is this a thing I can do?
I need even some American. Yes. So children now have an electronic mobile device. And on average, kids 8 and under spend more than 2 hours a day looking at a screen. Is that too much? Or could
Thing where it doesn't want to switch off of the.
Nope, you're good. I'll teach you how to get those.
Because it's not on the big screen.
Very good. You'll just slide it over.
Oh, it's on extend.
It's a good question. Yeah. Second.
There we go. Thank y'all.
Consider a child watching a video instead of listening to parents read a book.
98% of American
It's a far different
children
experience
now
for
have
them.
an
Rather
electronic
than kids
mobile
learning to
device.
focus,
And on
imagine a
average,
story.
kids
The
8
device
and
presents
under
everything
spend
to
more
them.
than 2
So
hours a
certain
day looking at a
cognitive
screen.
systems become
Is that too
underdeveloped.
much? Or could
And
there
when children
actually
spend
be
too much time in
developmental
front of a
benefits to
screen
screen
rather than
time?
interacting with people,
This
they can
is
have
your
such
brain
development of the
where we
frontal
explore how the
part of
world
the brain
affects
that
our brains
decodes social
and our
interactions.
actions.
It can become more difficult
Young
to
brains
develop
need a lot of
empathy or
external
learn social
stimuli to
cues like
develop,
facial expression.
particularly from birth to age
What's
3,
more,
what's
stimuli
known as
from
the
the
critical
screen can be a
period.
lot.
It's during
Colors,
this time that
sounds,
children's
stories,
neurons are
all
making
at a super
connections,
fast pace.
fundamental
That can be
skills,
sensory overload,
vision,
releasing
hearing, and
stress
language.
hormones
But
such as
these needs are
cortisol.
based on
It can
centuries of
also
human
overactivate
evolution,
the brain's
which
reward
means
systems,
Is
like
that
the
too
addictive
much?
hormone dopamine.
Or could there
Getting
actually
kids
be
used to
developmental
immediate
benefits to
gratification
screen
they
time?
wouldn't get in the real world.
This is Your Brain On.
So most
where we
scientists and
explore how the
doctors
world
agree that
affects our
screen time
brains
can
and
alter young,
ourselves.
still-forming brains. But in some
Young
ways,
brains need
that
a
change
lot of
can be
external
positive.
stimuli to develop,
Take the results of one
particularly
recent
from birth
study
to
that
age
exposed
3,
young
what's
mice
known
6
as the
hours
critical
daily
period.
to audiovisual
It's during this
stimuli,
time that
similar to
children's
those
neurons
found in
are
a
making
video game.
connections
After
with
10
fundamental
days,
skills
the mice
such
showed
as
signs of
vision, hearing,
hyperactivity,
and language.
impaired learning,
But these
and
needs are
risk
based on
taking.
centuries of
But
human
the
evolution,
mice also stayed
which used to
calm in
have
an environment
nothing
that
to do with
usually
screens.
would have stressed them out.
Consider a
Some
child watching a
scientists now
video
argue
instead of
screen
listening
time
to
can
parents
help
read a
prepare a
book.
child's
It's a
brain
far
for
different
our
experience in the
increasingly
brain.
fast-paced,
Rather than kids learning to
high-stimulus world.
focus and imagine a
So,
story,
screen time
the
isn't
device
always
presents
bad,
everything
and
to
it
them,
isn't all
so
created
certain
equal
cognitive
either.
systems
An
become
educational letter
underdeveloped.
matching game isn't the same as
And
a
when
violent
children
movie.
spend too much time
As
in
with
front of
many
a screen,
things, the key is moderation. Limiting daily screen time and making sure the child can function in all of modern life. Not only with screens,
rather than interacting
but in the
with people,
real world
they
too.
can have stunted development of the frontal lobe, part of the brain that decodes social interactions. It can become more difficult to develop
Hey, NBC
empathy or
News
learn
viewers,
social
thanks
cues
for
like facial
checking out our
expressions.
YouTube channel.
What's more, the
Subscribe by
stimuli from a
clicking on
screen
that
can be a
button down
lot.
here,
Colors,
and
sounds,
click on
stories,
any of the
all at a
videos
super
over
fast
here
pace.
to watch
That
the
can be
latest
sensory
interviews,
overload,
show
releasing
highlights,
stress
and digital
hormones such as
exclusives.
cortisol. It
Thanks
can
for
also
watching.
overactivate the brain's reward systems, like the addictive hormone dopamine, getting kids used to immediate gratification they wouldn't get in the real world. So most scientists and doctors agree that screen time can alter young, still-forming brains, but in some ways, that change can be positive. Take the results of one recent study that exposed young mice 6 hours daily to audiovisual stimuli similar to those found in a video game. After 10 days, the mice showed signs of hyperactivity, impaired learning, and risk-taking. But the mice also stayed calm in an environment that usually would have stressed them out. Some scientists now argue screen time can help prepare a child's brain for our increasingly fast-paced, high-stimulus world. So, screen time isn't always bad, and it isn't all created equal either. An educational letter matching game isn't the same as a violent movie. As with many things, the key is moderation. Limiting daily screen time and making sure the child can function in all of modern life. Not only with screens, but in the real world too.
Old school. There is passive and active. Passive is where the screen is doing stuff. I'm just watching it. I'm absorbing it like a sponge. And there are a lot of positives to passive screen time. It can help teach kids. It can be educational. We could be watching a good video. It can teach me some language skills. It can show me some math skills. It can help me to relax and calm down when I'm stressed out. Depending on what you're looking at, it can help with your social development and your emotional development. So passive can be good. That's what the little mice in the experiment were experimenting with. Stuff. There are, of course, negatives to passive. So just because I'm sitting there watching something doesn't necessarily mean I'm learning. Too much passive that has a lot of activity, a lot of flashing lights, a lot of movement, is loud, fast, excitable, can contribute to some developmental risks in that the child may get a little bit more aggressive, they may get a little hyper, it may be amping them up too much, especially if they're watching it before bed. So bed is where you want a calm, soothing, you can watch just music on YouTube, but you probably don't want to be playing a super high tense game right before bedtime. So this is a PBS special. It's available, I think, on Amazon, YouTube. It's called Parenthood. It's where they're looking at parenthood in the animal kingdom. So this is considered a educational example of passive screen time use. So we will know. Experience just like a minute of it. It's like an hour long per episode. It is amazing though. So recommend.
Parents navigate their worlds. But a changing adulthood is causing relationships. It's success for all parents without presidents and digest of consequences. It ensures the future of life on Earth. This is parenthood.
So that's just like about a minute 30 of that particular episode, really just the intro. But again, a great series if you're interested in staying online. But just in your head, what did you notice about this style of video? You know, what colors did they use? What music did they use? How did the narrator sound? And what emotions did you feel watching it? You know, were you anxious? Were you angry? Were you calm? It's just kind of a counting of how you experienced this passive screen time. So we just played something, you'd be looking at it, hearing it, watching it. What did it do for you mentally and emotionally?
I start yawning when those go on. I'll be honest. They're just they make me feel a little sleepy.
I love that.
Little music. It makes me think of the videos that play in the doctor's offices. Like it feels chill. Kind of makes me sleep. It's not something that I'm like, oh, I want to learn this. Like I gotta get hooked in. It's just kind of quiet and calm.
That is why they play them in doctor's offices.
So my parents think they need more.
Not editorializing. I actually think this is funny. So if you like this, don't like this, please, I'm not supporting this in any way or grading it. I'm just giving an example of a different type of passive screen use where you'd be watching something different on YouTube. And we're just going to watch about 30 seconds or a minute 30 of this one.
Oh, see, our foods. Then
Light work.
prepare the world for spicy and sour foods.
All right, let's go meet the referee.
Let's here to win the Royalty Family Championship belt.
Wait, what's this guy? Oh, I met him off of Fortnite.
You brought someone off of Fortnite to be the referee?
Yeah, what's wrong with him? He's shivering.
So we're gonna be competing in 5 rounds of eating spicy versus sour foods. And whoever loses has to drink a smoothie filled with spicy and sour fruit blended together. And before we start round number 1, we gotta play a game to decide who's gonna eat spicy, who's gonna eat sour, and who's gonna eat nothing.
All right, we got 3 cakes. Each one of you is gonna punch a hole in the middle of the cake. If the insides are red, you're eating spicy. If the insides are green, you're eating sour. And if they're white, you get a free pass eating nothing. Everybody pick a cake. The cake in front of you is now your cake. Everybody ready? 3, 2, 1. Watch it. All right, come on. You got sour.
Not gonna lie, I kind of want to see what happened. So again, just a different example of passive screen time. How did you feel watching this one? What emotions did this arise within you? And what kind of colors, what kind of sounds, what kind of energy did you get from this particular video? They are different.
Too loud.
Yeah, it's the same volume setting, but it's coming into a little, there's lots of bright colors. The screen does tend to move very fast. The actors are moving very fast. It's a game, so they are trying to hype us, but you can kind of see where maybe if I watch this right before bed, I might be a little amped versus if I'm Mrs. Baker and falling asleep to PBS. So they're just different uses of screen. In order to get more positives out of your passive screen time, out of watching something, they do recommend the quality of the show over the quantity. So do look at the content your child is watching and observing. Do try to consider, is this beneficial to them? Is it modeling behavior I want to see in them? Does it model language that I'm okay with them using? Is it something I'm okay watching? Because if they're watching it, I probably am too for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. Do consider the quality of the entertainment. They do recommend co-viewing as much as possible. So especially when they're little, you know, first grade, second grade, third grade, know what they're watching. What is that? What is this family? What are they doing? What's this game about? Watch it with them. And that way you can kind of discern like, ooh, baby, I don't think this is good for you. Or this is fun. We can watch this together. Maybe we're only going to watch it for, you know, 1 episode and not 2, 3, 4 hours. And balance, as anything in life, balance this passive screen time with physical activity, with communication face to face, with doing some other things. Because I can go down that rabbit hole real easy watching this video. So now this is going to be about active screen time, and that's where you are being asked to do something even though you are still observing something. The easiest is video games because you're having to play the game in order to make the screen move. But there are other things that are considered active screen use. FaceTime or Zoom calls, talking to people online is still considered an active screen use. Lots of positives there too, depending on how you're using it. You could be playing an educational game online. We got lots of those. Fresno Unified's Clever does provide some fun educational games. Also, there's like ABC Mouse or PBS games, things that kids can play that are educational. It's teaching them language skills, it's teaching them math skills, it's teaching them facts about the world, teaching them about animals. It can mentor literacy, again, what kind of games you're playing. And it can develop your social emotional growth. If you're playing games online with your buddy, that's considered social. Depends on what games you're playing and how y'all are talking to each other in some context, but it is developing your social skills. You are being asked to talk and engage and plan and strategize. And there is a difference between how you're using interactive online. So if you're making a video, if you're making a YouTube video, if you're designing a video game, if you're making a Canva poster, you're using the screen and you're being asked to do a lot of technical things with your brain. So it's engaging you and teaching you. So not necessarily the same as just playing some, you know, scary video game that I don't want to watch before bed. So I just gave Canva as an example, but there are lots of other really fun, creative things that kids can be doing online to learn how to do coding, do digital art design, multimedia, making little videos at home and showing them to you. As always, there are also negatives. Mental health and behavior issues. This is kind of a debated issue because we see it more in teenagers. They may be using social media. They may be using online sources for cyberbullying. If they're having depression, they could be talking online and showing that in ways that could go overlooked if we're not monitoring what they're doing online. And again, you know, predators and other scary things can be online when they're interacting. So we always want to be monitoring who they're talking to, what they're doing, and why. A lot of studies now are asking us to look at the why is the child. So if your child wants to be gaming, normal, something that they want to do is fun. If they keep wanting to be gaming, you're like, baby, it's dinner time. Baby, it's bedtime. Baby, it's been 3 days. Like, okay, why do they need to be playing this game nonstop? What's going on? Are they hiding from a deeper issue? Is there something, you know, I'm getting bullied at school, or I'm, you know, having some emotions I don't know what to do with. I'm feeling bad about myself, and this game makes me feel better. Okay, let's talk. Let's have a discussion. Let's get you the resources you need, and maybe not so much just letting them drown. Because we'll do it too. We want to just, we need a minute. This makes me feel good. I'll play this little coloring game or little, you know, whatever, fun game. But we have to be aware of the why. And sleep disruption, that's a real thing. You get amped up if you be playing these things before bed. So if your babies are staying up way too late because they just want to go one more level, or they're about to level up, or whatever reason, be aware of it and maybe start downgrading the screen time an hour before bed so that their little brain can kind of active. Sorry, this one's going to be kind of loud and volatile. I apologize. It's trying to make a point. It's loud.
Perhaps you've seen videos like this appear in your social media feeds lately. The concept is pretty simple. Parents prank their kids by unplugging the child's video game console in the middle of gameplay, and the reactions are viral gold. No one likes to be forced to stop having fun, but something different is happening here. If you were to take away a child's books or Legos, you're not likely to get a reaction like this. So what's going on here? Why are these meltdowns so dramatic?
I've treated a number of children over years who struggle with problematic video game behaviors. I think one of the most important things to keep in mind is the child will be able to tell you, I'm trying to not do this, but I can't stop. And I can't get myself to stop. I don't want to behave this way, but I'm struggling.
Why did you do that? That was my game that you don't want. According to Dr. Milham, these reactions aren't necessarily because of an addiction to gaming. Instead, what we witness in these videos are children who are victims of their own biology.
Being able to tolerate the feeling of frustration or that moment of sadness when you decide I'm not going to continue doing this, that is crucial.
One of the reasons the children in these videos find it so hard to control themselves is because they don't yet have a fully developed prefrontal cortex.
The prefrontal cortex is a key component in the brain that's involved in helping us to control impulses and urges. When you have something like the video game being turned off suddenly, the child is faced with having to feel those negative emotions.
Another factor is dopamine, which is often referred to as the brain's pleasure chemical, because it's associated with feelings of euphoria, motivation, and concentration.
Dopamine is a key component of regulating reward mechanisms in the brain. The stimulation we receive from playing a video game impacts the same pathways that are present when one is becoming intoxicated with a substance. So it's no surprise that many of the behaviors and reactions that we see for a child who's struggling with having this sudden stop or about under video game playing and has analogs to someone who is being asked to stop usage of a substance.
Let's say a child is about to eat a piece of candy. The anticipation of eating that candy gives the child a spike of dopamine. Then their parent yanks that candy away from them. That action, to cause a drop in dopamine, would will upset the child. Video game designers have gotten remarkably adept at keeping gamers entranced with a steady source of intermittent rewards. More rewards means a constant stream of dopamine released into the brain throughout gameplay. So when the parent pulls the plug on a child's video game, there's an even more powerful effect.
Video games are inherently designed to be stimulating and exciting, to draw us in, and that to some degree is a healthy phenomenon. It's just that for some, it's more difficult to control than for others. The video games somehow impairing their ability to function in the home, at school, or with other children. If we're not seeing any problematic behaviors and it's just concern about the frequency, then I think we can work on just trying to bring the frequency down.
For many households across the country, meltdowns over video games are a very real part of everyday life. Parents we have spoken with say they find themselves in a battle of wills with their children when they tell them to turn off the video game, do homework, eat dinner, or go to bed. Dr. Milham recommends implementing 2 basic rules. Number 1, establish clear and consistent rules about the days and time of gameplay. Number 2, a transition period between gameplay and bedtime. Dr. Milham also recommends that parents be wary of an underlying problem. Games may just be a coping mechanism.
One of the most important things is to really curb the video game playing and monitor it and put interventions in place before it's a problem. Once the video game playing becomes a problem, at that point, the parents will probably need to seek guidance from whether it be therapists, counselors, or other care providers in order to help to assess and deal with the challenges at hand.
Do it this way then.
When teens play video games, something dramatic happens in their brain. And as a parent, you need to know the gaming industry is doing this deliberately. They're spending billions of dollars researching exactly how to make games as addictive as possible. And most importantly, they are trying to keep this information hidden from parents just like you. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's happening inside your teenager's brain when they play video games. Why it seems so hard for them to stop, even when their life is falling apart. And what you can do as a parent before it's too late. Hi, my name is Cam Adair, and I'm the founder of Game Quiz. As a teenager, I was totally addicted to gaming, playing up to 16 hours a day. Now, over the past 10 years, I've been working with thousands of families, helping them regain control at home. Have you ever thought your teen was just being lazy, or defiant, or lacking willpower? It's okay. Most parents do. But what if I told you the behaviors you're seeing aren't about their character or their choice at all? They're about biology, and I can prove it. What you're looking at is the brain of an addicted gamer. Pay close attention to this bright red area. This particular brain region is called the precuneus, and it's responsible for cravings and reward processing. The brighter the red, the stronger someone craves gaming. These brain scans help to explain why your teenager can't seem to concentrate on homework, why they become irritable when they can't play, and why they seem to no longer enjoy any other activities they used to. If this sounds familiar, there's a reason why. This isn't about willpower or choice. Gaming has changed how your teenager's brain functions. So let me show you exactly what's happening in your teen's brain when they play video games. It all comes down to a powerful neurotransmitter called dopamine, which scientists sometimes refer to as the motivation molecule. Every time your teen accomplishes something in a game, defeating an enemy, completing a mission, or earning a reward, their brain releases a burst of dopamine. This feels incredibly good, and it drives them to want more. But here's what makes games particularly dangerous. They trigger dopamine release up to 100 times higher than normal activities. Think of dopamine like your teen's motivation fuel tank. And gaming doesn't just give them a temporary boost, it actually drains their baseline levels over time. That zombie-like state you see after they've been gaming, that's what we call dopamine exhaustion. Their brain's fuel tank is empty. They have no dopamine left to concentrate on homework. And the irritability and agitation you experience when they can't play, those are actual withdrawal symptoms. When this happens day after day, their brain starts to change. Normal life feels dull, so they play more to feel better, even if they don't understand why they're feeling so moody, irritated, or depressed in the first place. In fact, to their brain, only gaming feels worthwhile. This isn't your teen being lazy, defiant, or lacking willpower. Gaming has rewired their brain. So now let me show you how these brain changes create a chain reaction in your teen's life. It starts with something called tolerance. Imagine your teen's brain like a radio that's being tuned up to the maximum volume. The more they game, the less sensitive their brain becomes to dopamine. Just like you need to turn up the volume on the radio to hear it clearly. They need more and more gaming just to feel normal. Regular activities can't compete with this hyper digital stimulation. The main thing you'll notice is that no amount of gaming ever seems to be enough. They only want more. And this is where it gets worse, because this constant overstimulation leads to the second chain. Their pleasure response system basically short circuits. Activities that used to bring them joy, things like sports, family time, or playing an instrument, suddenly feel boring and pointless. It's not that they're choosing to lose interest. Their brain literally can't register pleasure from these normal activities anymore. Their brain can't concentrate on less stimulating tasks like school and work. This is why you might hear them say everything is boring or gaming is the only thing they enjoy. But here's where this progression becomes truly dangerous. These first two changes put immense stress on their prefrontal cortex, the decision-making center of their brain. This is the third change, and it's critical because it impairs their ability to make rational choices about gaming. When they feel the urge to play, maybe because they're stressed, bored, or there's a new game update, their brain's brake system is too weak to stop. They literally can't resist the urge to play, even when they know they should be studying or sleeping. And this leads to the final, most concerning change. Their brain's emotional center, the amygdala and limbic system, become rewired. Gaming becomes their only way to cope with stress and negative emotions. But here's the twist. While gaming temporarily numbs their emotional pain, it's actually creating more stress in their life. Missing assignments are piling up. Friendships are drifting away. Family conflicts are increasing. And this creates more emotional pain, driving them back to gaming. and the cycle continues, getting stronger each time. This is why simply taking away their games or punishing them often backfires. You're not dealing with a behavior problem. You're dealing with actual changes in their brain chemistry. And these changes reinforce each other, creating a powerful cycle that's incredibly difficult to break without the right approach. These changes can also lead to developmental delays compared to their peers. And since their brain is in a more emotionally sensitive state, it's more difficult to communicate with them rationally about their life and the challenges they're experiencing. So as a parent, you are seeing gaming having a big effect on their life, and yet they seem to be in total denial about it. But the thing is, their brain fog doesn't allow them to see reality for what it is.
So again, this is only in certain contexts, something that can happen, and it's been observed in teenagers, a little older than our babies, but they'll reach an age where they may start to want to lean on gaming and interactive, active screen use more and more. And as our, grown-up brains tell us, there might be a reason. So being aware of why they're craving this can help us help them find more positive outlets. So getting the positives, always encourage physical movement. Sometimes we don't realize we've been sitting there for like 1, 2, 3 hours. Take breaks. Even if you've seen them playing a game, it's like, you were just playing that, an hour ago. Maybe every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, get up, stretch, take a walk, go to the bathroom, do something, just shake it up. Try and encourage the use of apps that get them to use their brains in a positive way, a creative way, a beautiful way, something you do want to see and you don't mind listening to or having around, something they can produce for you that you're proud of and that they feel accomplished for doing, and not so much just a dopamine hit as they talked in video, kind of like a slot machine where it's just, well, I just got a high score. It's like, well, that's fun, baby, but that's a temporary entertainment, not something that's really going to develop you in a way that's positive. Always co-viewing. Be aware of the games they're playing. If you're comfortable with the game, that's fine. That's your decision. But if you're not comfortable with it, that's the conversation you need to have with the child and making sure that they're playing things that you're okay with. And a checkout system, we use it in the classrooms too, a visual timer. Like, okay, baby, you can play that game, but I'm gonna set this clock for 15 minutes. You can watch it count down. When it's done, we're turning this game off and we're gonna go do something else. And that way they can see the clock going down and it kind of helps them transition. Always protecting our eye health. We stare at these screens so long, it can damage our eye. It will do the same to a developing child. So just be aware of how close they are to the screen, but they're taking breaks, looking at things far away, getting their distance and exercising those eyes a little bit. For transitioning, again, give them a visual timer to help count down 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 more minute, baby, 5 seconds, I'm turning it off. This helps them to know to cue, okay. And help them find natural stopping points like, okay, level completed, good job, we're done. And acknowledging that this is a process and it's going to take practice. So sometimes they'll get it right, sometimes they'll struggle and you'll have to help them through. Give them praise when it works out, and when they struggle, be there with them. This is a video about a child that realized they were having an addiction to screen time in all kinds of ways and the actions they took to kind of get away from it. It's really fun and informative. I can drop it in the chat, but I've been talking too long, so I kind of cost y'all that one. Sorry. Experts are still developing in this area. Studies are still coming out. There's a bucket of studies that say screen time, video games, whatever you want to use it for, can't hurt us, go nuts. And there's other studies that are like, whoa, no, this is doing something. The literature's out there. We're still trying to figure it out, but you probably have a gut instinct about some things. Like, I do feel like my baby's spending too long. If you've ever tried clocking it, how long are they actually on a screen? And I'm kidding school. Look at it, okay, well, they did 3 or 4, hours of school on a computer. Okay, sometimes gotta happen. It could be educational, it could be good for their brain, good stuff. Then they get home, they've played a game for an hour, then they talked on FaceTime for an hour. You can start adding it up, how many hours they're actually spending on a screen. So trying to sort of put that in positive context, always make sure that they're looking at age appropriate things. Things, again, you are comfortable with them at this age, seeing, viewing, or interacting with. Know the why. Again, if they're spending too much time on something, know why. Are you feeling sad about yourself? Are you feeling bad about yourself? Is the game rewarding you in a way that you feel life isn't rewarding you? And what can we do about that? Get them the resources they need or be there for them. And communication, because our kids do have opinions and insights and feelings about this stuff. Be open to it and talk to them. This game's really fun, or this video is really fun, or I love watching YouTube. This family's crazy. They do some cool stuff. Okay, let me see. Let me watch with you. Try and meet them in the middle. Compromise when you can. And if you know it's not good for them, sorry, baby, this is making the cut. And always be aware of their online safety. We've talked about that in other parenting labs too. Who they talking to, what they doing, because there's some bad stuff out there. And try and have a model in your own home. I am going to put my phone away, baby, and we are going to eat dinner together. I'm going to look at you and talk to you and eat the food. You will do the same. So sometimes just us modeling it can help make changes in them. This is just a cute little picture of like what your screen time should look like. The portions are not right. It's for you to set. So just like a healthy diet maybe shouldn't be all candy, neither should your screen time be all mindless, silly, loud, flashy, crazy fun. You know, you have to balance. Some of it's interacting with people in a positive way. Some of it's playing educational games or reading educational material online. Some of it is, you know, silly candy. Just have a balanced diet of things. This is a website that's really useful. It's commonsensemedia.org. If you have no idea what the child's talking about, I do not know that movie. What is this movie? I don't really want to watch the movie. You can read reviews that parents have written and that have been researched to kind of see what is this about. Same thing for games. What is this? It can explain it to you. It can give you ratings. It can kind of tell you this is how, you know, I felt about it. And you can even weigh in on some of these. So it's a great website, a great resource for parents. commonsensemedia.org. I like the ad. It's a Good Morning America. They got a lot of energy. We're not going to do that. It's another great little episode about another study that talks about different ages and how screen time can impact them. So little bitty babies, we're learning not a great thing to give them. The older they get, the more screen time they can handle with you being there to help and support them. Key takeaway, screen time is tricky. It's going to be different for each family, each child. You can have 3 children in your household and they can handle screen time differently. And that's just the fun of the unique person. There is no magic number. I can't tell you only let your child play on the screen for 2 hours. That may not be true for that child. That child may be able to handle much more or much less. You'll have to figure it out with them. And always talking to your child about your expectations. We are not going to play these kind of games. We are not going to watch these kind of videos. We are not going to listen to this kind of language or this kind of treatment of other people. That's your expectation. Showing them how to meet those expectations, reinforcing consequences if they don't meet those expectations, like, okay, and you just lost your tablet time. And always modeling healthy. So be aware, don't watch something in front of them that you don't want them to watch. You know, wait till they're in bed, wait till they're out of the way. So that they see you being positive around your screen time. This is a really cool website that can help if you're having older children in the home struggling with screen use and maybe addictions. You want the QR code. And this is a way to create your own screen time plan. So if you need help kind of creating rules and guidelines for your children, this little form can help you. So you can take a picture of the QR code, make your own little rules and behaviors online, and then, okay, baby, these are the new rules. How are we going to be using screens with this child? Just so I can get y'all out of here and I can put it back up if y'all need it. Thank you. Again, being a team with your child can help keep screen time a positive